Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I remain Abiola Desa, the Media HR. And if this is your first time stumbling across this channel, do well to leave a subscribe, like, watch the videos, some of the videos that we already posted, and do well to share them with your friends, colleagues, even enemies. They might gain one or two things, right? Okay, so today, I wanted to. I thought about I thought about something during the course of the week as the year started. Something very funny happened, and then I realized that okay, this is a good topic for discuss. So today, I would be speaking on workplace nuance. Yes, I know you may be wondering what is that. Don't worry, I've got you. I'll do a quick definition and then just a little bit here and there. But I feel like this topic is not something that will be exhausted in this episode alone, and there will definitely be more and more to discuss on this because it's quite broad, even though it seems like it's little or it's nothing really significant. So what is workplace nuance? I would say that it is that unspoken rule within every organization. So you know how you come into a workplace, or say for example you go for an interview and you step out of the elevator, right? You're greeted by the receptionist. You can just know that there's some unspoken rules or unspoken things happening here. Nobody needs to say it. It's not included in the policy documents or anything like that, but it actually controls some of the key factors within that organization. So workplace nuances are those small, often overlooked details that make all the difference in how we work together. So you see why this should be a topic for discuss, because it may seem very little, it's an overlooked detail, but then it has the ability to make difference in how, whether people will be collaborative or not, or whether you as the HR, you continue to resolve conflict every single day of the week, because there are just certain things that are going on. It's little, but yet it can make a bit of a difference, right? So it's the subtle art of being able to read between the lines in emails, or the tone in which someone make a request to you, and all those things, right? So it controls, you can say it's like the body language of the organization, right? Now, why is this something that we should talk about, or why should we why should we even be talking about this? I mean, it's not one of those big things. It's not strategy. It's not performance management. It's not compensation and benefits, as the case may be. Why do you think that this should be something to talk about? Well, I would say that understanding these little things, especially for sometimes it's so hard for me to picture myself. I always see myself from an HR perspective, but getting on this show helps me to sort of take myself out of that shell, or out of that box. So why workplace nuance? Some of these little things, understanding these little things, can either make your time in the organization either interesting or not interesting. I'll give you an example. I had a friend reach out to me, sometime last year, and she told me that, oh, hi Abiola, I just got a job with so and so organization. Of course, for data privacy sake, I will not be mentioning names of organizations or anything, right? And she told me that, oh, she had gotten a job in this organization, and it's been a couple of months, right? I think as at that time, it was already about 4 or 5 months, and she was nearing the end of her probation period. So what's the problem? She feels like, her line manager does not like her, and it would affect her ratings, or the confirmation process and all of that and all of that. And I'm like, why do you think that? She says she doesn't know, but she just gets a sense and all of that and all of that. And I'm like, okay, I mean, if you feel this way, you just need to be able to have a conversation with whoever the person is, right? Find out from them, what have I done? Is there anything that am I not doing my job well, and all of that? That's a conversation you should be able to have with this person. And then she tries to do that, right? Tries to have a conversation, and the person is like, oh no, I actually like you, like you're very cool and everything, we don't have any problem. But she just felt a sense that there was not that likeness, until somebody called her and told her, oh, this, that is, this person does not like this, right? And, she was in the habit of doing that. And then that might just be, the reason why there's just this, you feel like there's this, what's the word? Friction between the both of you. So try and make adjustment and then see how it goes. And she said also in 2 weeks she made the necessary adjustment. It wasn't a life changing or anything. It was something she could accommodate in the workplace, right? And from time, the person didn't notice initially, but after about 3 weeks, and they became more cordial. And the line manager would go to her and say, how are you? Someone that normally when she says hi or when she greets her, it would just be like, let me usually respond. Let it not be that I did not respond to you. And so I told her at the end of the day that, see, and when she was telling me this, I mean, we walked through the whole process together. Eventually, when she was telling me, I told her that, look, there's certain things that you just need to do, because it's not ass kissing, forgive my language, right? It's just adaptation. There are certain places you come into, there's the way of life, right? I mean, note, if there are unhealthy practices ongoing, you should not engage in unhealthy practices because you are trying to fit into a place. But if it's not an unhealthy practice and it's a way, we can say culture in that place, then you need to learn, familiarize yourself with it, and then go along with the flow. Another example, some organizations do not like the use of ma and sir, or Mr. this, Mr. that, and they operate fully on first name basis. That's something that may seem very little, but for some people it's a big deal. And if you step into a meeting in a boardroom and you're addressing some people as Mr. this, Mr. that, someone might get upset. Or maybe they're a Mrs. and they're actually not a Mrs., they're a Miss, and you've referred to them as Mrs. But then they've already told you, call them by first name, but you wanted to be respectful and say, I'm a well brought up Yoruba girl, or I'm a well brought up Yoruba boy. My mom say I must always respect. But then they take an offense to it and you don't even know. But because, it seems very little, but it's an unspoken rule, right? That this is what we do here. So that's why workplace nuance is necessary. You need to be able to identify what works in this current organization. And I would like to advise people that, newly join an organization, you're coming in as a new hire and everything. Survey, give yourself time to be able to settle in, right? Try to make friends with 1 or 2 people that will give you guidelines. Oh, this is how this is done. So we don't send email once it's past 9 p.m. There's an organization I know, once it is close time, it's close time. You don't send email. Don't do you want to win employee of the year or most innovative or something. They won't count it as anything, because they are like, come on, nobody sends an email once it's 6 p.m. We're actually closed for the day. You now do wasabi again and reach out on WhatsApp and say, hi, Jude, I just wanted to, bring to your attention that I've sent you an email. I would appreciate it if you can quickly look at it and, maybe just shoot me a reply. And they're just looking at you like, who is this? Where does this person come from? So you see why some of these things, you need to identify them. You need to be conscious that in every workplace that you step into, they have a way of life, culture. They have the mode of doing things. There are little workplace nuances that guides the organization's spoken role. And don't be the one that comes and now torpedoes everything and change that. Okay, so what happens when you miss the nuance, right? So say for example, you are the person who just doesn't read the room, or you get the timing wrong, or you just don't, you've not taken time to survey and settle in. What would happen is you might intentionally offend people. You might look like you don't understand the culture, the office culture, or you might even make a mistake that could affect your reputation. You may make a long-lasting mistake that people will then, attach to you to say, oh, that's that guy that did this. Oh, that's that babe that did this one. That's that babe that when we're having the all-hands meeting, she was doing this, she was doing that. Do you get that kind of thing? So you want to be updated. I think this is especially useful for people coming into an organization newly. And I know this is the start of the year. It's 2025. Everybody has a goal. Last year I was earning this. Now I want to earn 2x. I want to earn 2 times and all of that. So I'm sure this will come in handy for you when you do get into a new place. Take time to observe. Take time to check who you should be talking to. Take time to observe what you should be saying at particular time. Do you understand? Now, how can you master? So having said all that, how can you master workplace nuance? So a big part of it is being observant. I think I've said that already. Being observant. Observe. Like, I would recommend that for a while, be able to sit back and maybe not even just watch around, watch what's happening around you. Watch, is anybody having lunch at their desk? Of course, some of these things should be stated in your onboarding package when you come in newly. But if it's not stated, you can watch how others do and then ask questions, right? The second thing will be ask questions. Times where you're unclear, be able to ask questions. What's your best time for me to reach you? Was this, was that? How would you like us to collaborate more? Some people don't like being bothered on their personal lines about work details. They don't want you coming into their on WhatsApp to say, hi, so there's this our client, this and that. They actually feel like that's their personal space. So ask questions. What would you prefer? Would you prefer email? Would you prefer I call you? And all those things, right? Now, also watch how others interact. Pick up on subtle cues. It's also part of being observant, and learn to adjust. The last thing would be adaptability. When you find out this is what works here, or this is what does not work, be ready to adapt. Be ready to say, okay, this was what was working where I was before, but now this is what works, this is what I apply, and be ready to adjust accordingly. I hope that with these few points of mine, we've been able to, or I have been able to highlight some of the things to look out for in terms of workplace nuance. And like I said earlier, we're going to do a much deep dive into this topic, and I look forward to exploring all the other areas that would come out of this along with you. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment as well. I'll be looking forward to read your comments. You can share your experiences as well. Thank you and see you soon.